Hello, hello, and welcome back to my playthrough of Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. I was on my way out of Homunculus Tivantius's blast bunker, I suppose, and this popped up. The Voxcaster under your armor suddenly spits out a cacophony of sounds. The growl of chainswords, human screams, the screech of metal, and rattling interference of an active Voxcast. Working the buttons, switches, and tumblers only makes it worse. Can we fix it? Skillfully wielding... And I have the highest tech use now, too, since Pascal's gone. Skillfully wielding your tools. You open the device's case and check each part's condition. The Voxcaster does not enjoy your manipulations and hisses at you. Then the lumens on its screen glow red and the broadcast stops. But the calm does not persist for long. Right before your eyes, the device remains burst into purple sparks and a dead speaker emits a familiar voice who speaks with gods, hoarse and feeble. O starborn skyheld of the Eagle God, hear the prayers of your servant sent to you through the myriad forests of Quetza Temer. The nightmare has become real. The darkness left the forest? But there's a word between whatever. Left the forest. But the light of the dying star can still be saved. The heart of the forest called out for you. Executed, you're standing on the tips of your toes, crimson sky. Calligos, Winterscale emerged from the depths, only to take a single breath and disappear once more into the blood. It happened again and again and again until he finally notices you. He throws his hands out and reaches for you. He reaches out, and the illusion fades away, leaving only a splitting headache in his wake. An unclean and painful end, I can hear it. On the other side of that vox, only evil and unrighteous death remain. Thus the sun has reached the treetops, and the crimson heart has struck its last beat. The dying stars have no hope left. Run, fools, back. Mr. Turner said, it may be a psychic source that leads us, but in the end, we will either help those who await us or purge. Let's help those who await us or purge them. Because, you know, Argenta is correct. We can purge heretics and chaos. Purging chaos typically seem to be a good thing, more or less. Unless you are a heretic, chaotic heathen yourself. In which case, good for you. Die. Okay. Not good. Not good at all.
I always keep my options open.
Isn't Warchin the Grey the chaotic one? Blood for the Rogue Trader's throne, skulls for the Skull God. Awesome. Arthur Rage of absolute insanity has possessed him. Which are the light with a slowly growing flame, unnatural, frightening, demonic. The remaining members of the Winterscale retinue have dispersed around the village's center. The navigator apathetically observes the massacre from a distance. The tech priest appears overly fascinated with assembling and disassembling her own Lego medics. And the Slith mercenary is raising the village, wholly satisfied. Only Calligos' new psyker speaks with gods, is nowhere to be seen. Argenta, he's saying skulls for the Skull God. This is not actually in question. Mother Massacre was an offering to one's own thirst. The one who did this was not trying to honor the undying one, but rather someone else, something else. For a while now, I've had my suspicions about the source of your remarkable strength. You have turned to the Ruinous powers. Of the Xenos Alloy Mind, some researcher. Didn't Theodore explain to you that in the Expanse, based on accusations went out of style a good 100 years ago? His palette is mixed in a very strange way. The red completely covers his eyes, but everything around him glows gold and silver. I think that his Lord Calligos Winterscale simply does not see the true colors of his deeds. I mean, I have 244. The Winterscale I have heard of would never have thrown his worlds to quarter only to indulge in mindless hunting. Testing the boundary though, Ignatius. I like your boldness, but you shouldn't stick your head so far into the beast's throat. Look around. Your own retinue is terrified of you. I am the rogue trader, a warrior of the god emperor, the great ruler of my dynasty. They should tremble in the face of master's power, but not out of fear, no, out of reverence. Winterscale grins at his retinue, but it is not enough to dispel the oppressive silence. The tech priest bows her head until her face is completely obscured by her hood. The navigator nods curtly and quickly averts his eyes, and the slith of licking a fresh wound that may not have been inflicted by a power axe. What's the matter? Am I truly so terrifying cannot even look at me? Where is that ridiculous psyker? At least he knows how to honor his master with his words. Old man! Magos Galenia Zeta. Whoops. Apologies. Has been annihilated, Lord Captain. You personally conducted the execution. The reason was, I quote, "You think I need saving, old man? You say you can see the future? Well, did you foresee this?" Make a dendritic and stuff him down his throat. I mean, it's a recording, dude. Flinching and struck by a whip, Winterscale stares at the village with the look of someone who is seeing for the first time. Confusion and unease creep into his gaze. What happened here? Who dared? Realization forms the new lines on his face. No, I surely couldn't have. Or... Your arch-militant to the heretic and a servant of chaos. He is the one fanning the flames of your rage. And 2, with the axe that I blessed you. Skin him and bathe in his blood. I showed you mercy. You've been corrupting my soul the entire time, forcing me. No one forced you, Calligos. I merely enabled your desire, fostered it, and made your crimson rage blossom. You suspected, yet your own pride stopped you from recognizing your weakness. Orton's speech becomes more and more distorted with each word, and the thought swells in the back of your mind. You wish to kill him, tear him apart, here, now. Weak, worthless fool. I have spent so many years growing this rage inside you, and you still resist. Did you think you could refuse the blessing of the skull god at the last moment? Well, one way or another, he will claim you all. Orton's flesh bursts, and the last thing you notice is his hateful gaze turning to you. Oh, time to kill the rage. That was... Calligos Winterscale out on the ground, staring to the endless sky of Quetza Temer. His pelvis is twisted unnaturally, his legs are not moving, and an exposed bone shard protrudes from his right arm. Blood streams down his chin in a thin rivulet with no sign of stopping. It was a good fight, new blood. Calligos looks at you, their holy assassin. Can you do something for me? It's nothing new to you. No, you have corrupted too much of your heart to plead for a swift death, and you are too badly wounded to survive without immediate aid. Lie here and die like an animal. Your spine seems to be damaged. There is no walking with that. You may be correct. After all, I can't even feel anything below the chest. Aside from an overwhelming feeling of helplessness, of course. I'll take you to the Emperor's vow. There's no need. You were so concerned about an old man's health. I shan't stop you. Okay, that was quick, I suppose. And we do have a new person to talk. Well, not a new person, but a new thing to talk to Adira about. Come on. Come on. It's already 100%. Alright. Adira, if you would. What have you got for us? Adira, not regretting your decision, are you?
Never been better, Lord Captain. No joke. As soon as I stopped fearing for my life, even the voices in my head quieted down. But don't get me wrong, they will come back. And one day I'll find myself in a situation I can't get out of. But for now, I'm fine. And it's all thanks to you. You know, I think it's pretty ironic that my gift lets me see the future, when thinking about the future is the thing I'll do anything to avoid. Substances of all kinds, jokes, stories about their good old days. I hide under them all like a blanket. As long as I don't poke my head out, everything will be okay. At least, that's what I thought.
Not the greatest or healthiest coping mechanism, I will say.
But I'm tired of living other people's stories. I want to tell my own. I don't know when or how mine will come to an end, but I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that somebody someday tells at least one decent story about Adira Tlass. And I can't think of a better way to do that than by standing shoulder to shoulder with you.
Okay, option 2 is just a dick thing to do and say. So, one story? Don't sell yourself short. You and I have already had enough adventures to fill a tome.
Then what are we waiting for? Get a scribe in here. We need to get all this down before we forget. But we have to make me more heroic and powerful so that I come out looking the best next to your other companions. What do you reckon? How many wastrels have we slaughtered? 1 million? Stuff that. Let's make it 2.
I must take my leave.
Of course.
Alright, that was actually kind of fun. That being said, I will do a little bit of, finagling and selling and probably obsessing over details, and I'll be back in a little bit when we find something new and interesting and shiny to look at. I mean, literally the second that I attempted to leave the system, we got a message from Vox Master Victus. Lord Captain, the Astropaths are putting a message. The Lord Inquisitor Calcazar is sending his regards to your lordship and is hoping to meet you in his palace at Footfall at your earliest convenience. Let's do this. We don't want to piss off the Inquisition. Well, frankly, we have one companion's quest to do. Do we want to... Why not? We'll just yeet ourselves across the system, like so. And we'll deal with Calcazar later. Ooh. Both of these work. Oh, this one's actually slightly worse. Or there's a tiny chance to avoid the collision, so let's just blow it up, shall we? The shell hit the target. The unidentified ship held its course for a moment longer, then it vanished, leaving only flashes of lightning in its wake. A single projectile is not enough to destroy a ship that does. Much more, our ship collided with no debris. Okay. Let's chart the system and let's see what we can do about Emiliana's message. Lord Captain, you've arrived in Ftan's Force system, a translation from the warp with a little rough. A net loss of about 500 souls and a million service decks, and got him for only knows how many wounded. But that's only half of it. The brain boxes and the augurs are sending me reports that aren't doing my mood any favors. Real space here has gotten more holes in it than a sieve, and all our senses are playing up. It's got to be sorcery, Lord Captain. If I was you, Lord Captain, I'd do what I came here to do, right sharpish and clear out, while we still can. I've seen the likes of this before in the same region. Maybe your sources will be able to explain it better, but here's what I know. Shit like this never ends well. Sure. But we can still look at things. Begin the scan. Promethium? Sure, but we have 26 of these already. We also have 9 extractiums, so why not? Check out the distorted star. Ooh. The surface of the star shimmers with a myriad of hues. The dance of colors fascinates any who dare glance at it. The playful colored patterns appear on the vessel's augurs in a wide variety of spectra, from infrared to ultraviolet. Every voidsman knows that such emissions are dangerous to organic matter, and Master Helms and Revor asked the crew to resist the desire to admire the star. Not everyone managed to follow advice, and some crew members suffered nausea and headaches. We're going to shut the shutters. Not sure what would happen if we didn't shut the shutters, but that seems just like a bad idea. Unknown ships. We're going to have first space combat in a while, actually. Did I even bother to upgrade the equipment for my ship? I think so. I must have done that at the very beginning of the chapter. Because, like, I also maxed out the Imperial Navy.
All stations, report when manned and ready.
Clash posts earns the most power. Your crew will regain control of these posts in several rounds. Okay. So what are we looking at? We've got Bloodied Claw Cruiser, 320, 97, 96. Okay. So, really...
Helmsman, take us in. Fire at will.
One.
Engage the engines. All hands, prepare for acceleration. Make every shot count.
That hurt. Let's do, not the shield master, we're going to do the warp channeler. So she can also yeet this guy to the side. And with any luck, not quite. But that should help us avoid his actual attacks, or anything he can really do. Sigil class destroyers, you guys just need to be occupied by my sword class frigate for a minute. Yeah, he's not having a good time of it, is he?
With the force of a supernova.
Let's do Master of Maneuvers. Sure. Reduce the cooldowns. With Sigil class destroyers, that I'm not worried. Are they trying to shoot? They could have fired on them using your main bat gun, actually, dude. Here. Just go halfway. yeet forward just a little bit. And that might just do it.
Fully.
Unless it misses entirely, which, fair. And again, let's give it to the Warp Channeler. So she can end this for us. Or almost end it for us. Maneuverable bastard, aren't you? Not maneuverable enough.
Let them taste our fury.
And we're still at full hull. So that works, actually. What are we going to upgrade from this? Extra flight control. Allow the voyage to control +1 extra wing each. That's not bad. Onboard ECM. Torpedoes at attack crafts gain 60% evasion against enemy attack crafts. Okay, rugged repair. 50% less scrap. -2 speed reduction, no fire range penalty. Steady hand. When using post ability, 12%. Nice. Okay. Loads all macro cannons that were fired during the acceleration phase. I mean, I guess expeditious reload. Oh, and the second one. Let's do... not sure. And 10% more scrap is fine, I suppose. I'm not currently using any fighters, so. Oh, I forgot to hit next. Fair enough. So let's just take it all. And to this place. Begin the scan. And there is a weird thing, an excavation site. And we are leveled. Sure. We'll level really quickly once we get down there. And if it's an excavation site, I don't expect it to be too big of a map. So 1 second. And immediately, 4 seconds later, we're back.
A blood-soaked sunset of gold and crimson burns within your soul. But the rest
Talking
of
to
your
Gabella, I
colors
presume?
have faded to grey.
To serve the
Yep.
undying emperor, one must excise all that is superfluous. What you see is sacrifice. What you see is duty.
Alright. It's not, again, not that big of a map. Spikes have been fashioned from whatever the creator had on hand. Pitiful balcony can stop anyone who is determined to get through. Oh, there's another map. Fair enough. Diggers. Overseers. You gonna talk to us, Overseer? There we go. Came to us with pray the God Emperor reached you. The sorcerer's message reached out others like him. May he rest in peace. We are most honored by your presence. Please come forward quickly out of the darkness. Those creatures come from the dark, you see, but not much longer. Not for much longer. Now you're here, Mistress Lichtenhart has already found a way to help us. Heinrich dourly listens to Sentry's speech. He takes a few steps forward and intently peers at her face, as Owen herself freezes in fear. Then Heinrich scowls and cuts a glance at you. We need to hurry. Adira? Even under the waving lumens, you'll notice something strange. Their slightly skewed proportions, the almost indiscernible asymmetry of her facial features. Looking at other sentries, you see the same oddity in their faces, and the fact that they're all wearing the same strange ramshackle implants, which clearly are not combat augmetics. Don't jump to any conclusions. It could be a local genetic anomaly. It could be something else. We can't say anything for sure yet. Yeah, Iceman, no need to lie to yourself. You can feel it. There's no way you can't feel it. You can practically taste it in the air, sorcery. First, we had those flares in the system. Now, this comely lot. Something here has been poking holes in the veil between real space and the warp. Something or someone. I have noted the system's idiosyncrasies, yes. I cannot yet say how it relates to the person who drew us here, if it is related at all. These do not appear to be very sturdy. Please, my lord, do you think we are trained guardsmen? We're from the expedition convoy. We've lived here for generations, and up to now, the God Emperor has guarded us from misfortune. But now we have to fight. The survivors have all gathered in a tunnel. We've handed out what weapons we have, but how are they supposed to help us against these butchers when we don't always know how to use our weapon? You mentioned an expedition? About 30 years back, we were brought here with a load of clever people from some high-up adeptus or something other. And we've lived here ever since. I've raised 4 kids here. 2 died at the excavations. 1 was taken by the monsters, but my youngest is still alive. Excavation. Perhaps the expedition, or rather its objective, what Emiliana was interested in. Of course, the easiest option would be to ask her directly. What a stroke of luck. You seem to have already found the people we were looking for. Mistress Lichtenhart, my lord? We wouldn't have survived without her. It just so happened that she was here at a local excavation when the monsters started appearing. What's happening on a planet? It's terrible, my lord. I don't even know how to describe it. It's been, how long? A few months, probably? Probably a few months since we've been plagued by these sorceress beasts. As soon as night fell, they came, creeping right out of the shadows, black as soot. There's no stopping them. The only thing that works so far is keeping the fires burning and maintaining constant watch. And even with that, the creature drags us off into 1 and 2 the second we drop our guard. I wish to see Emiliana Lichtenhart. Start in the pit, you go on, don't be afraid, she will be there properly to greet you. We will stand guard. I have every doubt that any of this is what's being said to us. Probably with good reason, too. Alright, Emiliana. What shenanigans have you gotten us up to? Or gotten us into? That chill, where does it come from? Oh, well, the lights are going out. Awesome. Kill the attacking mandrakes. Start the battle, sure. Ooh, they all have a good amount of hit points. Then we've got this for Heinrichs. They're all what? 2s? Yeah, they're all 2s. That's not a big deal.
I know what is to come.
This means... Should we use this to get all 3? Almost. There should be some way. There we go. Nope. Is there a configuration I can use? No, doesn't look like it. I mean, if I... At this point, I can't even do that. I can't get them all 3. Yeah, I'll just kill him. It's fine. I don't care about that guy. Heinrichs. Ooh. Earth Protest. Protest of the Warp. What's that? That'll be fine, I'm sure. Let's do you. Doesn't quite matter. Heinrichs,
In the name of House
have your fun.
Orphelio, I shall prevail.
Nothing stands against me. The Inquisition sends their regards. For the throne's glory.
I am a
One, two,
navigator,
who?
not a servitor.
You do what we tell you to. It's fine.
High momentum.
The Emperor is on our side.
That's right. I was going to never use Heinrichs. Or Abelard. Like keeping Cabela at it, I suppose. Oh, they're all Drukhari shenanigans. Fair enough. Is that everybody? That should be everybody. Can I talk to the digger? They have nothing new to say to us. Okay. Emiliana, what have you got to say for all of these shenanigans? Okay. Boarded up passage. You shouldn't have, my lord. Take us away from this place.
Damn it! It's a Vox liturgy twisted by warp sorcery. Try not to listen too closely.
Vulture.
May the hearts of the
Would be
faithful not be daunted by the vile speeches of the foes of humanity. May our faith be strengthened in the face of all corruption and foulness.
Yes, we've come to save you. It's fine. Ignatius, if you would kindly.
I always get the job done.
We've got Taunting Scream. I mean, sure, that's just great. What is Thrift Shroud? Oh, that's what that is. And what is our lore of the warp going to tell us?
The premonition runs true.
Strange debris is scattered across the table's surface. Your attention is drawn to the whimsical patterns of the broken pottery and tablets, but when you try to take a closer look, the rogue starts to swim before your eyes. That's on a pass. Okay.
Keep your wits about you.
Conveyor belt littered with a mixture of stone chipping and fragments of human-made items. The rust on the mechanical components indicates that this machine has stood idle for a very long time. More overseers. Powerful smell of promethium lingered in the air around a burning mechanism. The machines were doused with accelerated set light. Okay, so fire, darkness, to be going straight. Boxy stuff full of shards, pottery, metal, and other discarded human. Yep, I actually looked at it already.
Rise to the top or get left in the dust.
Emiliana's there, so we're going to go this way, like every good RPG player should do. Should know what to do. Primitive excavating equipment suitable for use by unskilled workers. And finally, the well goes so deep you cannot see the bottom. The walls of the shaft reveal the marks of the machinery that drove through the rock, as well as fragments of an ancient sunken city. Can I make any details out about the city from all the way up here? Probably not. It is what it is. must bleed. Hold him tighter. The visual description interrogated von Calix. You made it here after all. A sculpted figure draws back the hood of the grimy robe, revealing the emaciated face of a woman. Her skin is stretched taut over her skull in sickeningly protruding augmentations, and her cheek is marred with several open wounds. She looks at you with a feverish gleam in her eyes. Okay. Heinrich's usual mask of stoicism has melted away without a trace. He stares around him in undisguised dismay. Emiliana, what is this? You're performing arch-enemy's rituals? No, stop. Right now. Not to move until I tell you. The sage herself draws herself upright, as far as her crooked spine will allow, and flicks several switches of her facial augmatics. Then she turns to you, ignoring Heinrich's work completely. Who have you brought with you, interrogated von Calix? Clearance level? I did not hear you introduce yourself, so I see no need to offer my name first. Yep, fair enough. I brought the help you requested in your message, Emiliana. A void spun of the Aegis of the rogue trader. I dragged thousands of people and megatons of plasteel and ceramite through the bowels of the warp. And for what? To discover you have sold yourself to the arch-enemy? You are drawing conclusions based on incomplete knowledge of the situation, interrogated von Calix. Your judgment is impaired. What is going on with the demented Voxcast? A side experiment, a way for exhausted and frightened people to find comfort in the higher power. However, I had the services stopped. Several people succumbed to the pernicious influence of the atmosphere and went insane, but the people blamed on the voices from the Vox. What happened on Phaeton 4? Photon? Pshtan? Whatever. Supreme Director Lord Inquisitor, and Dutch's historical mission was established in Phaeton 4 to study the origin of civilization that once inhabited the planet. The world was once settled by humans. The mission aimed to discover which colony ship they came from and why they disappeared. The traces of the ancient culture uncovered in the layers of soil suggested the existence of primitive solar faith among the dark inhabitants of the world. Faiths that are strikingly similar to the worship of the archenemy. The surviving scrolls indicate that shamans use the gifts of chaos to protect their people, to secure the harvest, to imbue the warriors with strength and vitality, and that this culture persisted for thousands of years. I was cataloging data, and the attacks began at one of the one outposts. I immediately recognized the enemy by the tactics, Tukari. They chose an unremarkable defenseless world where night lasts half the year. By the time 5 outposts had been swallowed by the darkness, the last astropath had been torn to pieces, and many calls for help sent to Calcazar's unit had gone unanswered. I realized that no one was going to save these people, or this knowledge. And so I put the knowledge to use for the good of humanity. Am I mad, or is your colleague engaging in flagrant heresy here? The notion of heresy is hardly applicable to people on our line of work, Ignatius, but you are correct about one thing. Emiliana has crossed a line that separates a servant of the Imperium from a deluded chaos worshipper. I'm sorry I asked, but what are you trying to achieve here, Emiliana? The ritual we interrupted, what are they supposed to do? It will rid this world of its half-year-long night, and the mandrakes of their total advantage over us. It will force a new heavenly body, this one of human making, to rise above the horizon and illuminate the dark side of the planet. If the ritual works, I will have mastered the sect of forging a new sun. Madness, pride, monstrous, staggering heresy. Heinrich, why is Emiliana dressing in a strange manner? She has memory block containing data of personal nature. She does this whenever she's concerned that someone might try to extract information about Calcula's coterie from her. Sigma Prosperity. The reminiscent block you're attempting to access with due purpose. It now contains knowledge of the rituals performed by the shamans of this place. My standard working memory alone was insufficient to record all the nuances I uncovered in my research here. Emiliana, you deleted all the data about the members of the Calcula's unit? You wiped us all? Of course not. I retained a portion of the reminiscence block's data relating to the operational significance of Lord Inquisitor's unit. That is how they were able to recognize you, interrogated von Calix. Practically purging one's memory, all that gets in the way of duty, but the void that's left in place of excised memories must be filled with service, otherwise corruption will flood the soul, as it has flooded yours. What happened to the people of this world? The rest are dead or worse than dead. They are in the clutch of the monsters from Kamara. Well, we did kind of destroy Kamara, at least a little bit. Invaded by a warp entity. Use a side trail to hunt them down. The rest of the people here have been blessed with protection of these forces that are summoned to our aid. Do you mean to tell me that you discovered a ritual for creating a sun here? Too afraid of anything labeled prohibited. My memory contains thousands upon thousands of pages of manuscripts, tomes, and scrolls. Contact with any one of these is supposed to guarantee instant death. But the preachers who claim these are liars. I'm living proof of their falsehoods. That is enough! I've heard all the justifications and complaints 100 times before. No purpose can justify what you've wrought here. Who you have become. Who I have become, interrogated von Calix? I am what any agent of the Golden Throne is predestined to become if they are able to see through the essence of things. I have, as the Puritans say, succumbed to the heresy of radicalization. Moreover, in doing so, I am only following the footsteps of our mentor. The only difference is that I have chosen the path of Oblationist, while he chose the Xenos Hybris, forging an alliance with the cursed Drukhari. What? Is this Gothic or... What unthinkable accusation! The Lord Inquisitor, in league with the enemies of humanity? Emiliana, suppress your urge to debate internal matters in the presence of the rogue traitor. Additionally, I will not tolerate insults to the Lord Inquisitor in my presence. You've already started. You may as well continue. Actions are being driven by this philosophy, interrogated von Calix. Mine, yours, the Lord Inquisitors. Why are you avoiding talking about the fact that Xavier Calcazar is a dangerous radical? No less dangerous than I am, except I am not driven by utopian ideals. Really? Utopian ideals. Sure. Call broader into truth is heresy, Emiliana. Unremarkable, commonplace heresy. Heresy that has taken on a twisted form in a mind subjected to prolonged contact with corruption. The arch enemy has been gnawing at you from within, creating a star with a chaos ritual. You have crossed a line. No, you have obliterated the line. The line? Lines are for the weak and ignorant. Anyone capable of weighing the risks and making a calculated decision would have done the same as me. To protect the Imperium's domain, to deliver a preemptive Christ, even Von Valancius. You are a simple mortal endowed with huge power and privilege, ruling over worlds that hold millions of lives in the palm of your hand. Tell me, would you have done the same in my position? No! I'm not going to make a son. Blink of vision and a narrowed mind. A word of trade in the hand of such a person is a dangerous prospect indeed. You ask me my opinion on if chaos rituals to make sons is a good thing that I would take care. Because you wanted me to prove you're right. But when I say you're being a dumbass, I'm an idiot. Got it. Emiliana shakes her head spitefully, her eyes filling with blood. Awesome sign. The only one to answer my call, and you turn out to be a brainwashed pawn. I did not factor in the possibility of psychological dependence. Calcazar can be persuasive, especially to those who depend on him. A favorite sorcerer, a Caspalican renegade. Oh yes, interrogator von Calix. Xavier Calcazar's stalwart little soldier. You will die just like Tanakia. Emiliana, you only a Lichenheart. Tanakia? What do you know about Tanakia? You don't even know what fate befell her, do you? It's why it won't hurt you to know something of it. The lights are coming out. They're coming out of the mine. Of course they are. Why would you go to the elevator? Why would you be that person? Why would you be that person and then turn around? Beasts are here. The ritual must be completed. Preparation must not go to them. We need to block all possible approaches. Light, we need light to dispel through the shadow within the quarters. Okay. Heinrichs, if you would. So where is the light? Light here. Light here. So 1, 2, probably something in there. 3. So just this 3 then? Okay. Start the battle. First, buff everybody.
That is not my destiny.
Buff almost everybody.
Will do.
Increase your speed a bit. Increase Heinrich's strength.
Anything else?
Increase your dodge. Psychic assault on these 3. Can we get the 4th one in? Yes, we can. So screw them.
Was that you? Or
And let's blind the far one.
Will do.
Why not?
Holy terror! Smite your enemies.
That's right. Harry's great.
I must not falter.
A dance of blades and shadows.
Let's do... one. And reckless abandon.
Not fail.
2.
The shadows.
That's fine for now.
Follow my lead.
Weather the storm.
Yeah, and I tried. Magenta, if you would.
High momentum.
Then we got you. Then we've got you.
As the Emperor commands, I act. Faith without deed is worthless. I am his will made manifest. As the Emperor commands, you enter.
I mean, the best version of the best power is overpower. The best kill is overkill. Nah, you can't quite get that. So, we'll do that instead. And confident approach. And you're good with your bonus turn that you didn't need anything for.
I'll see to it personally.
Let's do something silly. Let's inspire. That'd be 15% extra damage. It'll do. Inspire Heinrichs. Then use Inquisitor's Tenet to let Heinrichs have fun.
Your reckoning is due. I won't object to it.
Can't shoot him. Really? Okay.
High momentum.
I feel
Daring
the
Breach.
powers.
Just to run all the way over here to turn this on.
I need a foothold.
You can run here. I mean, if that's actually kind of it, that's fine.
Alas, no.
Too easy. Jesus. Emiliana Iona Lichtenhart, in the name of the Inquisition, you are hereby removed from your post and expelled from the Holy Order. The fate of its fallen members is a matter for the Ordo. Heretical archives, artifacts obtained in the excavation, and other assets of Liechtenstein's possession, I hereby declare the property of the Holy Inquisition. However, it is for the road trader to decide what becomes of Stan for his people. What is your verdict? I'm getting them off the planet. Oh, hang on. What would you advise me to do, Heinrich? The world has been compromised. Any attempt to assess the degree of corruption would necessarily be based on weak judgment vulnerable to doubt and sentiment. I will get rid of the planet and its population. What will happen to the archives and Emiliana? The archives will be destroyed to prevent the situation from ever reoccurring. Emiliana is my responsibility. Well, I'm going to take the survivors off the planet. So be it, Lord Captain. As for Emiliana, you are hereby stripped of your special status as an agent of the Golden Throne and all attendant rights and privilege. I am authorized to use all interrogation methods stipulated in the standard framework for information extraction to ascertain the fate of the acolyte Tanakia Calcazar. Will that be necessary, Emiliana? No, interrogated von Calix. I have no intention of concealing that information from you. I am almost certain that Tanakia Calcazar was eliminated on the order of Xavier Calcazar after being deemed a volatile element. You are lying. I have a rather unpleasant suspicion that the witnesses to this conversation that I'm going to listen at the same time. I saw one of Calcazar's documents when I went to retrieve my new orders. Only a fleeting glimpse, but with my memory like a picture recorder, it was long enough for its contents to be imprinted on my mind. I do not know the details, but the document itself, with an interrogation transcript, with a final annotation indicating the removal of the person from the retinue. And we both know how someone leaves the Lord Inquisitor's retinue, interrogated von Calix. Tanakia, the Lord Inquisitor's top espionage specialist. What if Xavier chose to refrain from making a public show of strength? Calcazar was invaluable. Why would he do this? I do not know, interrogated von Calix. Just as I do not know why the Lord Inquisitor sent me to this nondescript planet as soon as I voiced my concerns about his methods. Just as I do not know if I should blame the warp for the lack of responses to my calls for help, or if Calcazar prohibited others from answering. The nature of a mission, and of Xavier's true purpose here in the Expanse, was likely why he chose to bury the secret, and Tanakia along with it. The operational data indicates that you are the retinue's primary torture specialist, interrogated von Calix. At all this time, I thought you were the one who conducted Tanakia's interrogation. And one of the reasons why I destroyed my personal data block was to ensure that my own sentiments would not prevent me from thinking rationally when I next encountered you or Calcazar's other servants. Hynix? Emiliana Iona Lichtenhardt. I know interrogative on Calligos. I know all the procedures used on compromised stages. Interrogation, unsealing of reminiscence blocks, but before we begin, I thought Tanaki what you were doing, but as your reaction has revealed the truth to me. Heinrichs. It is Heinrichs, yes? You should know. I am sorry to have forgotten you. Heinrich stares at the sage, saying nothing, then looks down and mutters something too quietly for you to hear. Thank you for your assistance in solving my problem, rogue trader. But why? Why don't you answer that question for yourself? Did he just... She didn't die. She's still standing right there. You did not want her to be subjected to your standard procedures at yours or anyone else's hands. You really think my actions are driven by such sentiment? We are finished here. The planet will be designated unfit for further use. The risks are simply too great. It will take a few hours to deal with the excavation site and what the diggers found there, but it will not delay us. When we return to the ship, find a minute to speak with me. I would otherwise have said it's just the heresy angle, but this has explicitly, repeatedly been a matter of like, he is softer, he is softer, he is more merciful, he is softer. So yes. Talk to Heinrich on the ship's bridge. What do you... Alright, so we're going to go back to the ship. Then we're going to talk to him. Then we're going to call it a night. I mean, if he has joined with the Drakari, then that would make sense as to getting rid of her. If I had hardened him and made him more merciless, I would say the heresy. But, again, more merciful, nicer. More merciful, nicer. He's going to do the nicer thing of the two. Especially since he did not like that answer. Alright, Heinrichs.
Lord Captain, I thank you for your assistance with my mission. Thanks to rogue trader von Valancius, the Inquisition has stopped the enemies of humanity, even those hiding in its own ranks. On this occasion, I will no longer be making any claim on your time or resources.
Everything Emiliana said about Calcazar, should we be concerned about it?
It is dangerous information, but you are already too deeply involved. In the Inquisition, there are two main philosophies: Puritanism and Radicalism. The adherents of the former are conservatives who strive to follow the letter of inquisitorial doctrine in all matters. The Radicals are more pragmatic. They believe that the end often justifies the means, and they use tools that a Puritan would condemn as heretical. Emiliana used the powers of chaos to gain the upper hand against Xenos. I touched a cogitator built by cultists to learn its secrets. None of us is pure. Xavier, the craven-hearted, say that the career of every Inquisitor ends in either death or heresy. The Lord Inquisitor has borne this burden longer than any of us. It would be naive to think that he had only ever used Puritan methods, and even more naive to suggest that such methods have in any way weakened his loyalty to the God Emperor. And that is all I will say on the subject.
You killed your colleague in cold blood.
Does that surprise you? It shouldn't. This is not the first time, or the last, I fear, that I will cause the death of someone close to me. There have always been reasons for it. Sometimes the reasons are dictated by duty, sometimes by my own personal volition.
What are you going to do now that this is done?
I will remain part of your retinue. That will not change. I will continue to accompany you until I receive orders to the contrary from the Lord Inquisitor, if ever. Who knows? Perhaps one day my journey will end like Emiliana's, but that day is not today.
Alright. It might be not today, and I will try to make sure it's not while I am actually in command of the Von Valentius dynasty. Have a good night, Heinrichs. I want to thank you for joining me today. Hope it's made your day a little bit better. Hope you're enjoying yourself. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe down below. You should also be seeing a couple of links on your screen. One for this playlist for Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader, just in case you missed something or you want to catch up to where we are now and just experience the entire thing. The other is should just be a link to another video on my channel that YouTube thinks you'd like. And more important than any of the algorithm stuff, all of that, just make sure to be well.